Hi everyone, Christina here. Welcome to day 14 of the holiday card series for 2018. Before I get into today's card, I want to let you guys know about a new holiday card class at onlinecardclasses.com that I'm teaching with Jennifer McGuire. We just announced it over the weekend, and there's a whole list of amazing guest artists that are joining us for class. This class is all about clean and simple holiday cards that are easy to mass produce and that really pack a lot of punch and have some awesome style to them. So if you want to take that class, I'll have a link down below. And also I'm giving away 3 spots in the class. So if you want to be entered into the giveaway to win a free spot in class, just click on the link down below that's for my monthly giveaways, and you could possibly win a spot in class. So today's card features a stamp set, or a couple stamp sets, from Honeybee. So I was at an art retreat a few weeks ago, and I actually saw this stamp set in person by the person who designed it, and I was like, I need that stamp set. I need it. So thankfully, Melissa, the owner of Honeybee, was very kind enough to send the stamp set to me, and here I am making a card for you guys. Hope you guys enjoy, and let's get into it. So the stamp set I'm using, which started this whole card design, is called Snow Buddies. And not only does it have these really cute snowmen in it, but it also has all the accessories for the snowmen and then some bunnies and birds. So I'm going to be using mainly the snowmen today, but I will bring in one of the birds. I'm also using the Fa La La stamp set from Honeybee as my greeting. And I'm going to start out by doing a rough stamping of my card design so that I can get all the spacing just right. So I've got my greeting on there, and I also have the 3 snowmen. Now this greeting, if you're looking at the final card, you're wondering, why did the greeting have to move? Well, I eventually got all my stamping and painting done, and then that greeting just didn't look quite right in that spot. So I did end up moving it. Anyway, so I'm moving on. I'm stamping all the little accessories on the snowman and also the little bird on top of that middle snowman. And then I'm going to take the elements that need to be masked, and I'm going to stamp those first. These are the elements that intersect with lines of the snowman. So I'm going to create paper masks for them to protect the interior areas of these images so that when I stamp the snowman, it won't overlap. So I've stamped each one of those in some black ink onto masking paper, and then I fussy cut around each image so that I can place it on my card design here in a minute. So I'm using some watercolor paper today. This is Arches Cold Press watercolor paper, and I'm going to be creating a 5x7 card. So I had a scrap of watercolor paper that was exactly 7 inches wide. So I just had it 7 inches wide by about 5.5 tall because I'm going to be putting some tape around the edges and I wanted a little bit more room. Normally I would have the dimension of the watercolor paper be 7.5, but since I was using a scrap of watercolor paper, I just went with 7. So I stamped those 4 images, and then I put the masks on top. This is going to protect those areas like I mentioned before. And then I'll go ahead and stamp all 3 snowmen. The black ink I'm using today is a VersaFine Onyx Black. It's a pigment ink, and it's fantastic for stamping on watercolor paper when you're going to paint over the top because it's waterproof and it won't smear or smudge. Now, because the watercolor paper is textured, it was a good idea to stamp the images twice so that I could get really solid black lines. And I did that with all of the images except for when I stamped the arms. And at the end of the video, you'll be able to see the difference and what was stamped twice and what was stamped only once. And I'll point that out too when we get there. So I stamped all the arms and the little bird on top. In fact, I changed which bird I used because I wanted to use this a little bit taller bird instead. So then I removed the masks, and you can see that it made it so all those images look like they're on top of the snowman. And then I saved those masks on the back of my stamp set. So I've taped down my watercolor piece to a hard board using some blue painter's tape. I'm going to go around those edges, make sure everything's glued or adhered down really strongly. And then I'm going to be using some watercolor paints today. I'm using my Magellan Mission Gold watercolor set, and I'm just going to paint the snowman, and I'm also going to paint the background sky. And I'm going to turn on some Christmas music so that you can enjoy the painting. I'll be back in just a few more minutes to finish up the card.
to one. Should we clean up or have fun for a while? There's a sweet, sweet stillness there in the quiet Christmas air. May you find yourself laughing all the while. Have a happy, merry, beautiful Christmas, where all your troubles fade away, where there's laughing and memories made by the Christmas tree, and joy for every age. So have a beautiful Christmas. Oh, have a beautiful Christmas. Oh. Wrap your feelings up with care. Give it to someone to share on this holiday affair. Could there be more? In the glow of candlelight, with your problems out of sight, one can get lost in the songs of yore. Have a happy, merry, beautiful Christmas, where all your troubles fade away, where there's laughing and memories made by the Christmas tree, and joy for every age. Love abounds when love surrounds our heart in need of light. For friendship grows and the winter snows when all is good and
I wanted to create a snow scene above the snowmen, so I'm going to be splattering some white gouache on top, and to protect the snowmen that are already painted, I decided to just use my kind of rough stamped card design, and I cut that out and then I placed it on top, and I'm just going to have those areas protect the painting while I splatter on some white gouache. So I'm going to take a little tiny dollop of this white paint, and I'll add a little bit of water using a paintbrush, just so that it's thin enough that I can splatter it. And then I'll run it off the edge of this acrylic block and splatter on some dots. It's a really fast way to get some snow falling. And I find doing it this way that I have a lot more control over where that splatter goes, so that I don't have it speckling my entire work area. So I wanted to add a few more snowflakes just closer to the snowman. So I'm drawing these on with my paintbrush, just dropping a little bit of paint down, drawing a little circle. After that was dry, I moved on to the greeting, and I kind of played around with where the greeting would be placed. I realized that with the dimension of my watercolor piece here, that if I tried to put the greeting directly above that middle snowman where the bird is, that it would be too high. And then my card wouldn't fit on my design wouldn't fit on a 5x7 card base. So I moved the greeting off to the side and kind of rearranged the words a little bit. And then I prepped that area with an anti-static powder tool and stamped the greeting in Versamark ink. And I stamped this twice just because I want a really solid image. Just like when I stamped the images in black and I needed to stamp them twice, I already know that because of the texture of this watercolor paper that I would need to stamp the greeting twice as well. So I sprinkled on some gold embossing powder. This is the color Gilded from British Monroe. And then I used my heat tool to heat set this until it was smooth and melted and gives it some nice metallic gold shine. I adhered my watercolor piece to a 5x7 card base using some foam tape. And I just placed this on, and because I had some weird dimensions going on trying to make sure I fit that greeting on there, it was cut a little bit short on the side. So after I have it on my card base, I'm going to take my paper trimmer and just trim off, it was a little over 1/8 of an inch, just to square that up so it's more even all around. So you notice that those arms on the snowman are quite a bit lighter. That's because I only stamped those once. So to finish off the card, I used a black pen and went over all of those arms. And this just makes them look, makes them not stand out, basically, compared to all the other black lines on the stamped images. And that finishes up the entire card for day 14. I really love how that card turned out, even though I did have some like dimension issues there and I had to change up my design. I really love how it turned out in the end. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss one of my holiday card series videos again. And also hit that thumbs up. That lets me know you liked this video and you want to see more like it. If you want to share it with a friend, hit that share button. And on screen, I've got 2 more videos for you to check out. These are the day 14 videos for the years 2017 and 2016. And if you want to see the day 14 videos for even more years in the past, I'll have those listed down below in the video description. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday for day 15.